up, everyone? It's Shanita here with Jewels in the Making, a channel geared toward faith, lifestyle, and development. Today, I'm here to discuss what can we do as the United States with this crisis that is going on. First off, I want to start by saying that I have not been able to post on YouTube. I've posted on my Facebook and my Instagram, but to sit down and make a video has been tough for me. I've been going through an array of emotions and trying to figure them out and making sure that I am processing my emotions in a godly way and not in a hateful way. And so that's why it's been a week or so since I've posted a video, because this is a lot to process. First off, I'm praying for the Floyd family. I'm praying for the Taylor family and the Aubrey family and the Martin family. All of these families who have lost their sons or their daughters due to police injustice, or non-police injustice, just plain old racism. Okay, and so I'm praying heavily for those families, because no one should have to watch their loved ones be killed or hear that their loved ones have been killed at the hands of someone that is supposed to protect. Now, I say all of this to say, this is not a video to bash men in blue. I have very close friends who are police officers, and I know that not all police officers are racially profiling or bitter or just want control. One of my close friends is actually in Arizona, and she's a police officer because she wanted to be on the field to show people to not be afraid of police officers. She wanted to be there to give to build a bridge, to make a connection between the community and police officers. Her job was never to, oh, I got the badge, now I'm in authority type of mindset. And so I respect her for that. So this is not what this video is about. But it is about what can we do as teachers, as people in the community, as voters, as church members. What can we do to make our community better for Black and brown people? Again, if you have a problem with this being about people of color, then you have to look within yourself and say, why do I have a problem when people say Black Lives Matter? Especially if you are a Christian. We all know as Christians that all lives matter. However, right now, brown and Black lives are at a higher rate of being attacked. And the mortality rate is just outstanding. Not in a good way, but in a horrible way. And so it is not to say that no other life matters. It's to say right now, we need you to stand for this movement, because we're tired and our voices need to be heard. Not to say that Black is better than white or Hispanic or Chinese or anything. It's not saying that. It is just saying right now, our community and our people have not received the justice that they should receive. And some of them have been mistreated because of the color of their skin. Now, if you live in a world where color doesn't matter, stop it. It shouldn't matter, but it does. And if you say that you don't see color, then what are you looking at? We are all different colors, but the thing is, God did not make a race higher than another race. We're all equally important to him. And so I want to start by sharing my heart on that. We do see color, but the color that you see should not make you stereotype, have a bias or a prejudice about that person because of the color of their skin. And that goes either way. It could be black people not thinking that all white people are racist. It can be white people not thinking that all black people are thugs or thieves. But that we see people through the eyes of God, and we give everyone an opportunity, not based on their color, but based on their actions and their heart. I want to first start off with the teachers, because I am a teacher, and I teach predominantly white children, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I know some teachers, my close friends, teach predominantly black children, okay? And I know some teachers that teach a mixture of students. But I'm coming to the teachers right now. Whether you're black or you're white, or you're Asian, or you're Latino, I don't care what color you are as a teacher. In history, we got to start telling the truth. We have to be able to talk about color with our students on a level where they understand. I'm not talking about talking to a fourth grader the way that you would do a junior or sophomore in high school. Don't take it out of context. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is we have to start talking to these babies about respecting people no matter what color they are. Don't get it mistaken. Racism is started in the home, and it's what kids hear, biases and prejudice that they hear in the home, and they bring it to school. But as teachers, we have to stop turning a blind eye when we hear kids say something that is prejudice against another child. I've had a student in my class to tell another student, "Where are you going? You're going back to Africa?" That baby was taught that from home. And then when the parents were spoken to about it, they said, "Oh, he doesn't see color." Yes, he does see color. And we have to stop telling our babies that. But we have to now start telling them, even though they are a different color than you, honey, they are still God's child, and you have to respect them. And you don't treat them differently because of the color of their skin. We have to start teaching these children that you are important because you are white. You are important because you are black. You are important because you are Latino. You are important because you are Asian. You are important because you are Middle Eastern. You are important. And stop telling them to not see color, because they see color and they hear it from their homes. We have to start teaching children, showing an array of pictures of different races when we're talking about social studies. We have to tell the truth about civil rights. We have to start teaching Black History Month. When we're talking about inventors and people who have contributed to America, we have to talk about the Chinese who came over to help build up America. We have to talk about the Indians who were already here, living on this land. We can't talk about Indians like they're a piece of trash and that they're ravages and savages and however the movies try to portray them. We have to tell the truth. We have to talk about how Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed because he just wanted black and whites and all colors to come together and have equal rights. We have to talk about it real. Stop sugarcoating it because you think that these kids cannot handle it. They can. Most of them have seen the death of George Floyd before their parents. On Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok. They've already seen it. We have to educate them young. If we sugarcoat it and we sweep over it, they will go out into this world. They will talk to anybody of other races any kind of way. They will have stereotypes and they will have biases against them, and eventually it may get them in trouble. I wish somebody would have talked to that ex-officer Chauvin and those other 3 officers about decency and how you wear your badge to protect and that you treat everyone equally, even if they're wrong. That George Floyd's life mattered. And that he wasn't just somebody that you were going to arrest. That he wasn't just your stereotypical black man. But that his life mattered. And it wasn't worth killing him over a $20 bill. They could be at home right now with their families. If someone would have nipped their biases or prejudice in the bud. I really implore you, teachers, to reach out to that black boy or that black girl who maybe is getting into trouble, and speak into their life and encourage them to be something and do something with their life, instead of calling them bad or angry. Find out why. Instead of just throwing them to the wayside, treat them like a human being and hear their hearts. It's important. It's needed. And these brown babies just want you to look into their eyes and see them and tell them that they're important and that they matter. Every student wants to hear that, not just the brown babies. But I teach my children at my school every day about the importance of loving everyone and treating everyone right, because that's what God wants us to do, even if they're wrong. Treat them with respect. I'm not saying that all black people or all black children are innocent. Just as I'm not saying that all white or any other ethnicity, excuse me, stumbling over my words, is wrong or right. But what I am saying is that we can't just pinpoint one race and mistreat one race off of biases. If someone is wrong, let them be wrong because they're a wrong person, not because of the color of their skin. That's all I'm saying. I teach my children, whether they're black or they're white or they're Latino, at my school, if you're wrong, Miss Thomas is going to pinpoint that. And I'm not pinpointing it because you're white. I'm calling you out because you're wrong. We got to stop having favoritism because these babies see it. You let one child get off, but the other child, oh, you're sending to the office. Or other teachers have told you about this child. So when they come in the classroom, you have a bias. Whether they're white or they're black or any other race. Get to know those kids. Build a relationship with them. Because not only are people losing respect for officers, but they're losing respect for teachers. And when I grew up in the 90s, we respected officers. We respected teachers. And now officers are acting like criminals, and teachers are closing their eyes to what's going on in front of them. So teacher to teacher, I'm asking you to put more into all of your students and teach them the importance of not being prejudiced and stereotyping people, and teach about all races. Don't just teach these babies about one race. Expose them to all races. Put pictures up in your classroom where each one of your kids can identify their own race. My next call is for the church, my fellow Christians. It's okay to have a righteous anger. It is. Jesus was upset. He had righteous anger against people in the Bible. But he never let it made him sin. He didn't say, because these people lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, I'm not going to get on that cross for them. He didn't say that. He said, because they do that, that's the reason why I have to get on that cross. I'm dying for those sins. So it's okay to have righteous anger, but it's not okay, Christians, to start calling people curse words. It's not okay, Christians, to throw bottles through people's cars. It's not okay, Christians, to beat up other people because they disagree with what you say. It's not okay. Use your righteous anger, Christians, to teach people that we have to stop saying, if you have white friends, teach them, you got to stop saying those little jokes about fried chicken and watermelon and their hair, black people's hair, and stop saying those jokes, because you know that's a stereotype, and or that's prejudice, or that's a bias, or at some point racism. Call them out. If all you see is Caucasians or blacks or Latinos in your church, start inviting different races to your church. And if it makes people uncomfortable, so what? They're going to be uncomfortable in heaven. Because in heaven, There will be every race there. It's not just one race. And so the church needs to open up their eyes and start having conversations. I respect Pastor Furtick and how he brought Pastor John Gray into his church to talk about it. And it wasn't the first time that he talked about race. I respect Judah Smith for speaking out. Pastor Todd for talking about race and always talking about race in his church, and how he wanted to make a church of all different types of races and backgrounds. And he succeeded. I respect that. We got to start talking about it. There's no white Jesus and black Jesus. We have one Jesus that we serve. We can't make him too European. We can't make him too Afro. But we have to make him the ruler and the maker, and our Savior, who came to save everyone. But Jesus would be out there peacefully protesting against injustices. Don't ever get that twisted. He would be out there. He would be out there with his gospel music, his Christian music. He would be out there with his cross on his chest. He would be out there with his disciples, telling the truth with a bullhorn. I believe it. No one could tell me any different. But he would also stop the fighting and the cursing each other out and throwing bottles and knives at the police. He would stop it, and he would say, this isn't the way. I know Martin Luther King Jr. died being peaceful, but you throwing knives and you being violent, it's not going to work. And how I know that is because when the Roman soldiers came to arrest Jesus, and Peter cut off the Roman soldier's ear, and Jesus picked up that man's ear, that soldier's ear, and he put it back on his head, that lets me know Jesus was not violent. But Jesus would stand up against injustice. Don't get it twisted. But he would not show hate in the midst of doing so. My last charge is first going to be to my people of color. Get out and vote. If you can get out there and peacefully protest, go to the polls on June 9th or June 23rd or whatever date, if your state hasn't went already. Whatever date. I'll leave some information down below on the next dates that, states need to vote. But go out and vote. If you want your voice to be heard, vote. Look up why you're voting. Are you voting because you don't want Head Start funds to be depleted? Are you voting because you care about those people who may be on assistance? Are you voting because you want to better your community? Vote. Research on who you vote for. No, I'm not making this Democrat or Republican or saying that Democrat is better than Republican. I'm not saying that. Whoever you vote for, I just need you to vote. But make sure that you're not stabbing yourself in the back or your community in the back when you're at that voting poll, but that you're voting for your generation and the generation after. Use your voice wisely. Vote. Also, and this is for everyone, we need people in authority on the police force, in the White House, in government, locally and nationally, who are believers of Christ, who believe in treating everyone equally, who's not doing underhanded things underneath the table, who's not taking bribes, who's not lying, stealing, and cheating, who's not killing and destroying. But we need these people who are vital. And I left off teachers as well. Teachers, you're equally important as an officer or a president or a mayor. We need people in position who will speak out against injustices, who are not crooked, who believes in Jesus Christ, who believes in treating people fairly. We need these people. Where are they? Where are they? Our children need these people. And if you don't see that this is a time that we're living in where people are going out and who are protesting, and there's a pandemic going on, that this is a problem, then I would ask you to get on your knees and pray for revelation, because this is a problem. People are risking their lives to speak out. There are some people out there who they want to stir up trouble. But for them, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people who are willing to risk it all to bring change to this world. I want to ask, are you willing to risk being uncomfortable to stand up for what is right? Are you willing? Are you willing? Are you willing? Hear my heart, people, and let's make a change. We can do this. I believe in y'all. We can do this, people. I believe in y'all. I believe in y'all. We can do this. It starts now in 2020, where churches across the world, banners across the world was talking about vision. This is a vision. Let's start making a change. God is opening our eyes. Don't turn a blind eye now. Let's make a difference. I love y'all. Be safe out there. Be smart. Be smart. Plan and execute. Not executing people. But don't just let this go on for a month and then you forget about it. Plan. Follow through on it. This will not be an overnight success. This may take months. It may take years. But stay persistent. And remember, we're all kings and queens of the Most High, Jesus Christ. Be blessed. Peace.